Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on, YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another interesting knife review slash knife overview to show you guys. This is the Vosteed Psyop Micarta and Elmax versus titanium. Oh my god. Guys, this is such a good knife. This is such a good knife. I'm going to be honest with you, as much as I love the standard Psyop with the titanium, and I don't know if maybe if they changed it, if they had like a Gen 2 or what, I don't know. In this form, it actually makes even more sense. It's already an amazing knife. This knife is so good. I have my own commentary we're going to talk about. I'm going to go over it for people who want me to, but I'll say this at the beginning. It is a recommendable knife. This knife is ferociously good. Vosteed is creating like banger after banger after banger. They found their sweet spot, they found their groove, and they are releasing nothing but absolute fire. This is definitely part of that. I very much like this knife. I wish it was slightly less expensive, but it is exceptionally good. I will link it where I can. Don't get mad at me if you find out that this is sold out in some of the links, because this knife is popular with or without my help. It is just a good knife, and Vosteed is making them as fast as they possibly can. So, if they're sold out, check again down the road. Thanks to Vosteed for sending this in for me to take a look at and share with everybody. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. Let's go ahead and get a measurement of this knife. So the overall length of this guy, and they do make smaller ones, but this guy's on the larger side. It's coming in at 8 inches, full size. Blade length about 3.5. Cutting edge is actually a bit shy of 3, maybe 2.9, because of a very generous forward choil. Let's go ahead and do some size comparisons. Any custom scales you find in this section can be found down in the description under Original Goat and others. So up against the AD10 and my own Excalibur. Very similar in the overall profile to Excalibur and many other knives, honestly. If you know the lore behind Excalibur, you know that it's actually a combination of elements that I find extremely preferable. And it turns out that the majority of, at least my viewing audience, finds many of these elements also very preferable. So it's no surprise that we will see these types of things in other knives, right? The blade profile, we have a nice full belly drop point blade, nice easy opening hole in the oval there. We have straight classic lines in the profile. So it shouldn't be any surprise to anybody why this knife in particular speaks to me and so many other people. These lines simply are preferable with not everybody, but a lot of people. Let's go ahead and put it up against the Spyderco PM2 and the Spyderco Para 3. Very, very similar in overall length to the Spyderco PM2. It's almost like a squished, like someone took the PM2 and said, stop being so lumpy and we just, you know, and they came out with this. That's what it kind of looks like there. And then finally, we'll put it up against the Benchmade Griptilian, or in this case, the Ritter Hogue and the Hogue Deca, which is absent today. There he is. He's right here. He's not absent. He's right here. He's ready to go. Okay, how is the action? It's a button lock, right? No, you fool. It's a button-operated compression lock, or as Vosteed calls it, a top liner lock. What is the significance of that? You can see there, that little slot. There's a part of the liner that actually slips in there instead of underneath it, like a typical liner lock, right? Like the Penguin here. It slides in behind this slot. And that makes your lockup strength and reliability far superior to a standard liner lock, and it's not even in the same universe versus a button lock, right? It is button operated, but it is not a plunge lock. This works flawlessly. You also have the benefit of having an actual detent ball, which means you get the nice clicky, you know, what you expect from a liner lock or frame lock. So it's basically all of the benefits of a button lock and a liner lock and a frame lock, as far as, you know, fidget factor and the good feelies when you deploy it, but far superior reliability and strength. I have always said that I prefer the compression lock as far as like reliability and strength. I trust it a lot more than a regular liner lock and a frame lock, even though like a good frame lock and a good liner lock are just fine. The way that these engage, it seems to just be like way, way better. So yeah, that's awesome. And on top of that, the action is ridiculously smooth. You can operate it very easily with the thumb, with the reverse flick. And if you want to, you can even front flip it. It's just exactly the type of thing. I mean, it deploys exactly the way that I want it to, and it's second nature. Because this is closed off and not an exposed frame lock, means you can simply wheel it out like a normal person without having to do a bunch of crazy, you don't have to, like, it's fun as a knife guy to do the fun, the Spidey drops and the fun flicks and everything, but it's also sometimes easy to just open it like this, and that's great. However you want to do it, it's set up for you, and when it locks out, it's going to stay locked out until you push that button. Let's go ahead and do carry profile. So thickness up against the Spyderco Para 3. It's a little bit thicker, but it's also contoured. It's contoured. We're whispering about that for some reason, but it's contoured, which I like. If it's a bit thicker, that's fine. The contouring helps with the comfort, so I'm okay with that. Length and height up against the PM2 and the Para 3. It is a bit longer than the Para 3. Not crazy tall, though, and still not quite as long as the PM2. So really, for a full-size knife, it carries like a regular pocket knife. There's nothing really incredibly insane about the way that it carries there. So I was very, very comfortable with this in my pocket. Let's go ahead and do weight. First off, what are we looking at for materials? We're looking at micarta. In this case, it's kind of a green, almost like a, like a decoration in an old person's house. This color of green, I don't know what the fascination was with it during a certain time period. Late 60s, early 70s, I think. But this is a color of many, many old knickknacks and things. And that's fine. It's actually a very pleasant color. I kind of understand why they liked it. Contrasting with the brass, which does make sense. That looks good to me. If you don't like this color, they have lots of different colors. Micarta, contoured, very nice. We have steel liners that are not nested, but it's fine. They're not very prominent, and they are milled out on at least on one side. And then we have Elmax, which, by the way, on their website will list as 60 plus or minus 1. Here's why. It's because they do offer some of these Psyop models in a coating, which will reduce the HRC by 1. But typically, Vosteed was telling me, typically, the HRC is going to be on the higher end for the non-coated blades. So probably 60, 61 for the non-coated blades and 60 to 59 for the coated blades, which on Elmax is still fine. That still makes sense. Personally, if you want to get the best out of Elmax and you like this knife, I would recommend you go for the non-coated blades because they're going to be in that optimal range for Elmax, whereas 59 is, much like M390, not as good. But for some people it matters, others it doesn't. Just want to give you guys my thoughts there. Weight, 4.3 ounces is about what I expected. I believe that is less, not substantially, but it is less than the titanium models. The balance on this guy is pretty good. It's right there behind the pivot, like in the standard index finger position, just a little bit back. So it does feel, in my opinion, from what I remember, a little bit more balanced than the titanium version. But that's about what I'd expect. Decent ratios, not like absolutely spectacular. But 3.5 inches of blade for 4.3 ounces of weight, or whatever that was, 4.2, 4.3. Not bad at all. This one definitely does feel a little more wieldy, a little less unnecessarily heavy, right? Hardware check. I'm going to get out my tools as per usual. My tools are very inexpensive and very recommendable. You can find them right down in the section of my description that talks about the tools I use on this channel. So your pivot is a T8. Your body screws are T8. Curiously, we have 2 body screws right here. They're both holding in the backspacer. Why, Vosteed? Number one, it looks like what happened here is we needed 2 screws. Like, we needed the 2 screws here, I guess, because you wanted this lanyard hole to be here, right? My suggestion would be you need a lanyard bar in the backspacer. We can eliminate the need for this screw, and you can do 1 screw here in the backspacer and 1 screw here. Then you have 2 less body screws total that people need to take out in order to disassemble the knife. But even if you didn't want to do that, why? I mean, I get to hold on to the frame. I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the compression lock itself. That's probably it. This screw is directly behind the part of the lock that starts to bend away from the frame that it's attached, or the liner that it's attached to. So perhaps that's why that screw is there. Either way, And by the way, the pocket clip screws here are T6, which you do have mounting positions on both sides. So left-handed people and right-handed people can enjoy this knife. Either way, it's just 2 additional screws to take out. But because this is a compression lock or top liner lock and not a crossbar lock or something else funky and weird, button locks always have those springs underneath there. This is stupidly simple to take apart and put back together. Very, very easy. As long as you have the right tools for the job, you should be good to go. Blade stock thickness. Do I have the calipers? Yes, I do. Okay. Calipers. Here we go. Blade stock thickness 125, 130, 133. About the middle of the road. Okay. Meat and potatoes time. Oh my goodness. It's just so good. There's a lot of knives that look very, very similar, but the Psyop truly does combine, everything. Like for me, it's got that full size. It's got that big forward choil. It's got a pretty good, like reasonably thin cutting geometry. Elmax, fantastic steel. HRC, at least on the non-coated blades, very good. Opening hole, functional jimping that does complement the index finger position. Contoured micarta. We have less weight, better balance than the titanium version. Good colors. The contrasting colors here, in my opinion, good. Knockdown edges. One of the best pocket clips you can get on a production knife. It's a bummer it's not titanium, but as far as function goes, oh my goodness. This is a friendly clip. Very, very friendly. Love it. Choked back, great. Mid-range, like kind of the halfway point, great. Choked up, great. It's just really good. And the operation is so, like, it's obvious. Like, it's a second nature to push that button and to deploy the blade. Choked up as a right-handed person. Do you need to watch out for that button? It's this finger, I think, that sometimes, like, covers over it. And if you do push it down, right? It's the difference between this type of compression lock and the compression lock on a Spyderco is that the operation of the lock is on the spine. Incredibly unlikely that you will disengage this lock while you're just gripping the knife really hard. With this being a button, you could potentially accidentally disengage this while you're using it just by squeezing it if you're not paying attention to where this finger is as a right-handed person. As a left-handed person, usually with these buttons, usually a left-handed person is more likely to accidentally disengage it because their whole hand is right on top of it. The button is recessed enough that even squeezing it as hard as I possibly can right on top of the button, it doesn't do anything. It takes specific and deliberate force with the tip of the finger to accidentally disengage it. So as long as you position your hands in a way that don't land right on top of that button, I think you're okay, right? Might be more of a gloved thing, because you don't get that sensation on the tip of your finger when you're wearing gloves. You might not know exactly where your finger is. Watch out for it, but it's not a deal breaker. You should be okay. Functionally, this thing is just a golden beacon of hope for the knife. Like, it works so well. For aesthetically, it's not gonna, it's not gonna win any, most unique awards. It's not gonna do that. This is a tool. It's a very nice tool. A lot of people would argue it's totally unnecessary to spend this much money on a pocket knife. You can think whatever you want, but this is an absolutely wonderful tool. Strong, reliable, high quality, fit and finish off the charts. Very, very good. I gotta be honest with you, I really only have one complaint about this knife because this essentially checks all boxes for me. My only complaint is the price tag, and I'll tell you why. $169. Yes, their titanium one is like, what, $250, right? So this is a significant drop back from the titanium version. And even though this is a complaint, I have to tell you, I'm not upset about the price tag. I just need to compare it with direct competition. Actually, I need to compare it with its U.S. competition. Kershaw can make a similar knife in the USA, or, well, whatever is required for the majority of, it's like whatever percentage is required to claim USA made. They can make a similar knife for essentially the same price. So, Vosteed, I think you should be a little further back. At the same time, it would make perfect sense if Vosteed says, Kick Rocks Metal Complex, they sold out, idiot. So, yeah, like, people are going to buy it because it's good. A lot of people would say people buy it because you told them to buy it. Now, hold on. This was sold out before I even unboxed this. People know to look at Vosteed. I want these prices to be more in line. Like, we don't have titanium liners. We don't have titanium. We have micarta. Yeah, Elmax is pretty nice steel, right? this probably could have been priced about $40 back. And, you know, yeah, but at the same time, Vosteed kind of knows what they have. That doesn't mean it's justified, right? I guess at this point, what I'm saying is Vosteed, don't creep that price up anymore. Don't creep it up any more than 160. It's at 170. Don't creep it up any more than that. You know, keep making people happy with these cool variations of compression locks. It's going to be a long time until people are bored with this system because it doesn't have any drawbacks. I mean, like, yeah, you could say like the button operated ones, like you could put pressure in the wrong place. But as far as how the locking system engages when it's done right, there isn't really a drawback to this. Unless you're an idiot who uses a knife like an ape would use a log to, you know, smash a rock or something. Like, there's no drawback to this. It's very strong. It's very reliable. And Vosteed is definitely doing it right. So at $169, do I recommend this knife? I think if you understand, like, you should know that, you know, yeah, this is, like, their top liner lock definitely, there's a little bit of added cost that goes into that, right? Definitely. To get that right and get the geometry, I know because the testing involved with locking systems that an OEM or a company is not used to implementing yet, there's so much testing involved with that. They got to cut it all, you know, correctly, and then they have to keep doing that. Yeah, like, I can understand them wanting to, you know, maybe make a little bit of that back. I get that. But, like, understand before you buy this that you are, in my opinion, just a little tiny bit overpaying for it. But once you have it, that thought is going to go out the window. This is a phenomenal tool. And it's still, I mean, it's such a weird thing as a reviewer to have to point that out. Like, I have to say, hey, listen, we got U.S. competition making stuff. Maybe they're not, you know, Kershaw's not making compression locks or anything, but they can essentially make the same type of thing with the same materials or sometimes better and charge the same or even less, right? I have to point that out. But at the same time, does Vosteed really have, when you come down to functionality, reliability, and all of that, fit and finish, do they really have competition at this price point? Not really. Like, you have other knives that are made out of the same materials, but would I choose them? Like, between 150 and 200? Are there a lot of knives that I would choose over this? Not a lot. Not a lot. Not really anything that comes to my mind immediately. It's kind of hard. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place here, complaining about the price and at the same time kind of justifying it. I'm glad this exists, but knives like this kind of make my job a little tricky. But overall, yeah. Like, when it comes down to it, gut instinct. Would I recommend this knife? Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, absolutely. It's so good. If you can get your hands on this knife, you'll love it. It's absolutely wonderful. So that's it. I'll link it down in the description, both on Vosteed's website. I have a coupon code. I don't know if it works for everything on their website. You're welcome to try it. It'll be linked in the description. I'll also link these on Blade HQ, if not on Vosteed's site. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.